Now, I may be the first American commentator to have found the clause in the Constitution which says the president has no such power to singularly destroy our nuclear arsenal without the advice and consent of the Senate, provided that he has two-thirds of the senators present concurring with him. Do you know of such a discussion and vote within the U.S. Senate?
Of course not. And furthermore, I think my last
But notice what I'm telling you. What did I say over the last few days with the Michael Jackson insanity and hysteria? I said, while you're worshiping the golden casket, while you're worshiping the pedophile, while the media is whipping you up into a frenzy for a pervert and a loser, your president is destroying America's nuclear superiority. It was all tied together, Betty.
I agree with you, and I furthermore think that anyone who would break the Constitution time and time again, he started out by not even being a citizen of this country, and it goes on and on. Why would he think he should stop?
Okay, I'll let it go at that. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. AJ in Houston, it's your turn. Go ahead, please.
Mike, I'm furious. I'm pissed. As a black man, see, you can't say it, but I'm going to say it. Michael, this man perpetrating as being a black man, he making us look bad. A black man will never get up there again, and then you get that stupid Al Sharpton up there talking about Michael Jackson open up doors for black men. Is he stupid or stupid? Nat King Cole, Martin Luther King, Jackie Robinson. Is that man crazy or crazy? Michael, we got to take this country back, and I talk to these, I'm so sorry, Mike, I got to go off, these ignorant black folks that don't pay attention to what they voted for. I'm bashing them every day, my family, all of them. I'm like, what did you vote for it for? Why?
AJ, don't waste your breath with ignoramuses. Don't do it. And be particular whose insults you take to heart. These are two things that I've learned in my life. Do not try to convert people in your family who are too ignorant to understand the world they're living in, because you're only going to give yourself agita, as they say in Italian. And number two, if they insult you back, AJ, be particular whose insults you take to heart. In other words, if I insulted you, you should take it to heart, AJ. But if one of your ignorant relatives insults you, don't even take it to heart. You follow me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But they make me so sick that it's, Michael, just take a look.
Well, you got to be like me, AJ. You got to stop talking to everybody and just get yourself a dog.
You got that right, Michael. We love you.
You know, I got to say to you, yesterday, I went on the air, AJ, and I talked about a fox being killed by a car. It died slowly, and the mother barking and crying for it all night, looking for her baby. And I said I felt more compassion for a dying rabid fox than I did for the death of Michael Jackson. And I think that I touched on a raw nerve, because I think most of America felt the way I did. And I believe that it was the others, those people you were talking about, who were gulled by the government media complex, AJ. God bless you. Thanks for calling. I guess you could say living well is the best revenge. What am I going to do tonight after the show is over? What I do every night. God willing, I will have dinner and I will drink. But tonight I will drink more than I drank last night, even though last night I had one beer, not more than one beer, actually. I think tonight I'm going to go a little further. I'm starting to get a nightmare view of what's coming in this country. I'm getting a nightmare view of a government that is out of control. I'm getting a nightmare view of a government that we will wake up to one day which says, I have signed a treaty with, fill in the blank. I have agreed with the United Nations, fill in the blank. In order that we achieve and maintain peace around the world, we are asking you to voluntarily give up your guns. I have agreed with the United Nations that anyone who earns over, fill in the blank, is a pig, and that pig must now turn over his property in order for the betterment of humanity. I can make it up. I can fantasize. I can theorize. I can strategize. I can capitalize on your fears, but let me tell you something. What I am talking about today is based upon cold, white-knuckled reality. Your president just told you that while you were dancing at Michael Jackson's gold coffin, a pedophile, a talentless imp who had not produced a record in 20 years that anyone knows of, the media gulled you. They produced a mass hysteria. And like minnows caught up in an outgoing tide, you went along with it. Who was the only one in the media telling you that there was something up as to why the media was drawing you to L.A. in the funeral? Who was the one who told you, why is the president going to Russia? What's going on here? What's happening? Why is he giving away America's nuclear superiority in Moscow? Now, I want to back up for a minute because I have a fairly good knowledge of this subject, although I'm only able to speak in sound bites and speak in short bursts of brilliance. There's a great deal of knowledge behind each of my sentences and statements. You may not know it, but George Bush Sr. did a similar thing. That's correct. Not the dyslexic son, but the rather calculating, brilliant father. In his time in office, disassembled all of our neutron bombs. And the reason I know this is because the inventor of the neutron bomb, Sam Cohen, was on this program when I was a local talk show host. I don't know how long this has to be, 10 years ago. And Sam Cohen said to me almost with tears that the Pope gave him the highest award for creating a weapon that would produce the least amount of damage and end the war most quickly, which was the neutron bomb. Meaning, it kills only living matter. It doesn't destroy cities. Now you say, well, what's the advantage to that? Because the way wars are fought is that whoever loses more people first gives up. I don't think you understand what this means. That if we permit Russia to gain nuclear superiority over us, it doesn't matter whether we have 5,000 weapons left and they have 7,000, they can simply destroy us by threatening to use their weapons. And with a pacifist socialist such as Obama, he's just liable to say, we lose, don't fire the weapons, what do you want us to do? You understand what I just said to you? Let me put it in another context, because many of you are rightly concerned, but on the other hand, you say, what's wrong with giving up nuclear weapons? We have so many of them. We have 16,000 and we give up, 4,000. What's the big deal? We still have 12,000. It's enough to wipe out the world. Classic communist illogic. This is how they led you to believe that we really only needed one nuclear weapon to protect ourselves. If we needed any at all, one. After all, one hydrogen bomb can destroy all of Russia. You say, well, what do you need more than that? Let's go down to reality. Two gangs meet up on a street corner. And one gang has 50 guns. The other gang has 30 guns. And they're all of the same caliber. And they face each other off. And the gang leader with the 50 guns says, a lot of our men are going to die. And this is unnecessary. I'm a man who does not like bloodshed. But we have our needs that must be met. We're going to win. A lot of my men are going to die, but almost all of your men are going to die. We're going to wipe you out. We have 50 guns, you have 30 guns. So we're going to ask you to give us what we want without us firing a shot. And guess what happens? I'll be right back.
Hi, it's Roger Hitchcock. Join me evenings starting at 7, right after Savage on Talk 910 KNEW.
Signed a joint understanding for a follow-on treaty to the START agreement that will reduce our nuclear warheads and delivery systems by up to a third from our current treaty limitations.
Okay, let's stop right there. Obama is a constitutional lawyer. What he is citing is a clever way to get around the U.S. Constitution. He just said we have signed a follow-on treaty of the START agreement. He will argue that the president does not have to get the two-thirds of the senators present to concur with cutting our nuclear arsenal. Instead, this president of ours will say he does not need anyone's authority. He's just simply amending an existing treaty and therefore drop dead. If you don't like it, you can leave the country. But he'll never say that because he plays Mr. Nice Guy. Most dictators play the nice guy. Even while they're doing terrible things, they never show it. This one is the most clever at not showing any of the dark side, so to speak, that is so apparent to anyone with a brain. The Rasmussen poll has just come out. An Obama approval rating as of 7/8/09, that's July 8th, 2009, has slipped to a -5 or a -3. It's plummeting. It is dropping. It is falling. It is falling, and it is falling fast. From the time this man first took office, when he fooled most of you into thinking that he was something he was not. He had an approval rating and a disapproval rating that was a 44-16. It is now 32-37. Now you say, what does this mean? I can't follow any of this. Well, it's very easy to follow. His approval ratings have been falling while his disapproval ratings have been climbing. And right now the differential is a -5. In other words, he has very high disapproval ratings in this country. And that's before the people heard about cutting the nuclear arsenal. I can guarantee you, if we had a legitimate media that was not owned by the Obama administration, that had screaming headlines saying Obama cuts nuclear arsenal, gives up our strategic advantage to Russia, which is what you would have gotten from a Hearst newspaper when it was still a Hearst newspaper, before it was taken over by a bunch of left-wing lunatics. When you still had newspapers that screamed the truth.